All right. Hello, everyone. We're back. I got really thrown off by seeing my own face here, and so I do apologize. Give me a second to gather myself. Hi. Hope everyone's doing well. We are back on House in Fata Morgana. So this should be a lot of fun because last time we opened up a lot of mysteries, and I still have no idea where everything is taking us. So yeah, let's find out. Um, let's look at our recap. So, as the amnesiac master of the house, our hot maid is trying to jog our memory by transcending time and space to show the house's history in different eras, starting in 1603 with the devout male Rhodes and his sister Nellie's incestuous crush on him. Yeah, we threw the incest flag very early, and I'm pretty sure that we're right, but we'll find out. After Nellie's birthday party, he took a peek at the new white-haired maid from another family who was brought to work at the Rose house. Despite trying to hit on her by talking about his grandpa going out with a bang in defiance of the house's cursed reputation, she is somehow receptive to his advances. Can't wait to see how Nellie takes this. Yeah, let me just say, that is some of the worst flirting that I have ever seen. Like, wow, man. Exactly. Oh no, stranger danger. Oh yeah, that's me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. I just realized I am wearing white again. I swear to God I have something more than white long sleeve shirts. All right. You have my thanks, Father. And I apologize for being late today. Oh, that's right. This is the priest that both Mel and um, Nellie have called out for being creepy. So let's see where this is going. Now there's something unusual. You not being punctual. Maybe next we'll go a whole month without rain. Do have mercy on next year's crops, Mel. You hyperbolize, Father. So, did something nice happen? Uh-huh. You look like you're in good spirits. Do I? No, nothing. Something did happen, didn't it? It's all over my face, isn't it? People prefer an open book to a face of stone. So it is. Yeah, if Mel sees a shadow, it's 6 more weeks of winter. People may prefer it, but it's not a good trait to have for social engagements. What? Not the kind of engagements you'll be having, anyway. I'm sorry, don't look so dejected. For now, at least, there's nothing wrong with that. So, tell me, what has you in such a joyous mood, Mel? You torment me so, Father. We've taken on another maid. You know how that goes, right? Someone new comes and things get lively for a while. All the excitement has gotten to me. That's all. Why are you looking at me like that? No reason, no reason. So, what family does the little lady come from? Little lady. That's very hard to say for some reason. I don't actually know. You don't know? I was going to ask her, but I missed my chance. Father has returned home, and I can't speak to Mother. I see. She's caught your eye, has she? Yeah, she has. But the truth is, you're more than just interested in her, are you not? Yeah, we fell for this maid so fast. For no reason other than she's pretty, and you know what? That's probably how it went back then, so... What? No, why... Yeah, Mel has cooties, Mel has cooties. You truly do enjoy tormenting me. Well, I should be getting home now. Mel? Yes? Make certain you find out where she's from. If you're genuinely interested in her, it's your responsibility to determine if she's actually suitable for you. Yeah, that's true. To be fair, we also fell for the first maid we saw literally just as fast. So, you know what? We're hypocrites and we know it. It's fine. This murder... Look, I don't know who's got more of the murder vibe yet, but that seems to be our type, so... Thank you, and excuse me. It doesn't matter if she's from an esteemed family or not. She listened to me flirt about how my grandpa died while having sex without wanting to kill herself, I feel like she's the one. That's how you know. No, I'm not in love with her. I'm just interested. This isn't love, no. It couldn't be. This is me we're talking about. Besides, I hardly even know her. Young sire, blessed sire, alms for the poor. It's the same beggar as before. I don't think he's moved since then, but he looks skinnier than last time. He's going to have trouble making it through the summer. I should give him something while I still have the chance. Alms for the poor, have mercy. Yeah, Nellie never laughs when I tell her the grandpa story. Sorry, but this is all I have to give you. Thank you very much. Blessings upon you. May the Lord bless your soul, young sire. Thanks. I feel bad for him, but that's just the way of the world. Farewell. The skies are really clear. The sun shone fiercely down on the town that day. As was characteristic of the area, cloudy days and rain were frequent during this season, but the sun almost always took the stage the day after a storm. The cathedral standing tall in the center of town, the stone-paved streets clacking with the pleasant sound of footsteps, the people peering out from beneath awnings to look up at the sky. In Mel's eyes, it was as if they were all blessed by a divine light. I know, it's a really good question. Who are we going to turn out to be? Or is it going to be that none of these people are us? I don't know. We could have been that beggar literally all along. Who knows? However, not everyone living in the same land was equally blessed. In fact, the blessed were far outnumbered by the forsaken, even if their time would later come to be referred to as the Golden Age. Elsewhere, back at the mansion, Nellie was causing trouble for the Abigails. On a whim, she had decided to redecorate her bedchamber, so she gathered the maids and put them to work, shouting orders and demands and complaints. And she had not summoned only her personal servants, but others as well, including the white-haired girl. No, not like that! How many times must I tell you? The tapestry goes by the door, and I don't like the carpet's pattern. Is there anything else we can change it with? Hey, who put this ugly vase here? Nellie appeared to be rather irritated, and it was the servants who bore the brunt of her frustration. Yeah, we were the grandpa who died getting laid, clearly. Though if they found this similarly vexing, none of them showed it. She was a girl who spoke her mind, a trait particular to that time in history. Women of the Golden Age were so vivacious, in fact, that it inspired parody and satire in foreign countries. But no matter how hands-off her parents were, had Nellie been born a generation earlier or a generation later, she likely would not have been able to act so free-spirited. That day, however, Nellie did not seem to be her usual self. Though she always spoke her mind, it rarely went beyond being childishly adorable. It was unusual to see her in such a foul mood, not even a smile on her face. Ugh, get rid of all of it! The carpet, that chair, the desk, it's all so ugly! Don't we have anything better? If we don't, then order it. Have it made. You can do that much, can't you? Hurry up and replace them. Having only arrived that morning, the white-haired girl was unsure what she was supposed to be doing, caught in the middle of a flurry of maids and furniture and fabric. Yeah, she does have like the Karen look. She's a 14-year-old Karen. She started early. It's fine. She chased frantically scrabbling Abigail's with her eyes and made attempts to help, but not being familiar with the work, she only ended up getting in their way. She probably felt that everyone would be better off with her not in the room. So when the maids ordered to get new furniture made their way out of Nellie's room, she attempted to follow them. You, hold on a second. Yes, you with the white hair. However, Nellie stopped her before she could take her leave. What? Enjoy. The white-haired girl turned back, bewildered to find Nellie smiling at her. The corners of her mouth turned up into a self-assured grin. There was no trace of timidity or uncertainty in her demeanor. Her flaxen eyes seemed like they would look nice under the light of the sun. almost the exact opposite of the white-haired girl. I wanted to talk to you, actually, but Mother was never one to share. I asked her to trade maids, but she wouldn't have it. Trade? You mean for... Which is why I decided to completely redecorate my room, because then I would need some extra hands. But why? Because Mother and Father refused to tell me anything. Why is that? Who are you exactly? Where did you come from? Tell me, what house are you from? I... Why can't you tell me? If we took you in, you must be from a fairly decent family. As a member of the Rhodes family, I have a right to know. Do I not? You can't expect me to welcome a girl into my home who won't even tell me where she came from. I don't know anything about you. I haven't seen you at any parties. I'm... Nellie needs to, like, calm down. Like, come on, girl. At least give her some time. I came from another country. Another country? What country? Somewhere very, very far away. Oh? North of here? East? West? South? South. It's south of here. I crossed the sea to get here, which is why we have never met before. How far did you have to travel then? How many times did the sun rise and how many stormy nights did you face? Innumerable days and nights we sailed, heading ever further north. Huh. So tell me, Lady Nellie, that is a most wonderful painting. She just tried to brush me off. I won't let her get away that easy. Painting? It's in my room, so of course it's wonderful. But that one's especially so. You're both so adorable. You, Lady Nellie, and Lord Mel. How old were you when it was painted? Huh? That painting! Goodness, yes, you have a good eye for art. It is magnificent, isn't it? This was done when I was 4 and Mel was 7. You see how we're standing next to each other holding hands? I was too young to remember it very well, but Mel looks like he was really embarrassed. But standing there like statues makes for a boring painting. Nellie explained brightly. Having completely forgotten she was pressed up against the white-haired girl, she did a little twirl, stopping to face the portrait. Though many paintings lined the walls of her room, Nellie was most fond of the one of her and her brother. 2 darling siblings standing side by side, the older brother smiling kindly and the younger sister sweetly tilting her head, her cheeks the color of fresh-picked apples. It was like the very embodiment of their happiness. A painting lays its subjects bare, you know. Fortune and misfortune, happiness and sorrow, enshrined on canvas for all to see. And this reflection is not merely limited to the point in time it was made either. Did you know, Master, that paintings are alive? They are drawn with a brush over an extended period of time, unlike photographs which capture a singular moment. The two have their own individual merits, but a photograph is still while a painting moves. Portraits reveal both the past and present state of those they depict. Mel and I have always been close. I would sing songs for him, and he would teach me about all sorts of things. He's so smart. Nowadays, Mel hardly even goes on walks with me, making excuses like I'm an adult now. But we used to spend a lot of time playing together in the rose garden. I see. The white-haired girl normally had difficulty smiling, but her lips naturally curled upwards as Nellie reminisced. A vision of the 2 happy siblings had probably swelled up in her mind. And I imagine there was a faint trace of envy in her heart as well. The music stopping is so ominous. I'm scared all of a sudden. Lady Nellie, you love Lord Mel quite deeply, I see. Yes, of course I do. Mel's smart, and he's studious, and he's incredibly kind. For my birthday, he gave me this wonderful rose necklace. I just realized that's twisted around, sorry. The jewelry shop he got it from is famous because even the royal family makes commissions from their workshop. So he had to have it ordered months in advance. Just for me. He's a prince. Oh? He's pretty charming, wouldn't you say? That's why I call him my prince.
But you know what? Mel is a terrible dancer, and he still hasn't got his feet on the ground yet, and he's so bad with interacting with girls. So there's no one else who would say that about him. He is quite the gentleman. I assumed women would be drawn to him.
Really, girl? After you just heard his story about how his grandpa died having sex? Like, oh wow. This girl's needs some better standards is all I have to say.
Gentleman? Have you met Mel already? This morning, briefly. That reminds me. Mel seemed to know about her too. What do you think about Mel? As I said, he's a gentleman. That's not what I mean.
No. So basically, what you've missed is Nell started grilling us on or the white-haired girl started grilling the white-haired girl on where she's from. She said that she's from far south, like far, 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 far south. And then she pointed out this painting of the siblings that now we're just gushing about Mel. Because why not?
Don't think I'll let you get away with putting any funny ideas in his head. What? Mel is too trusting. He's pure of heart. So I won't stand for you trying to take advantage of him. I would never. So you say, but you actually want to get close to him. I wouldn't dream of it, Lady Nellie. He's a man far beyond my reach. You aren't planning on doing anything, are you? Not at all. And you don't have any romantic feelings for him, do you? What?
Well, do you? Oh my God, girl, you need better standards if you do.
I have no romantic feelings for him, Lady Nellie. And you won't develop any? I will not.
And with that, Nellie gave a wide, satisfied grin. Even though one has no way of knowing how another truly feels, or how they might in the future.
You wouldn't, would you? Now that I think about it, there are plenty of other boys. You getting together with Mel is downright absurd. Indeed. But anyway, back to what we were talking about earlier. Your family, I almost forgot.
Yeah, no, he's like a brother to me. How dare you?
You haven't told me exactly where you came from or anything about your... Lady Nellie, I've brought a new carpet. Just look at the embroidery. The work of a true artisan. I'm simply in love with it. Surely you'll find it to your liking as well. Wow, you're right. That's a Florentine stitch, isn't it? I wonder whether someone mimicked the style or if it was imported. Either way, a great find. Let's hurry up and get it laid out. Oh, and we'll have to see how the colors go with everything else. We have to finish redecorating quickly so I can show Mel. He'll be so surprised. What wonderful taste you have, Nellie. When the other Abigails returned, so did the bustle within Nellie's room. As the white-haired girl watched, a faint smile crossed her lips. Perhaps it was from relief at having escaped Nellie's inquisition. Or perhaps... Nellie, I'm back. Did you eat something you're not supposed to, dearest Mel? You're unusually cheerful. I'm the same as always. Anyway, never mind that, dearest Mel. Take a look at my room. I redecorated today. So that's what you've been doing, hiding away in the house all day, Nellie?
There you go. That's probably a good way to refer to her, Abigail, for now.
How is that any different than what you were doing? You were in the church all day. I guess. I will look at your room, I promise. But first, do you know where the new maid is? Now, don't get any strange ideas. I just haven't yet had the chance to introduce myself, and I thought I should as a member of the family.
There you go, Abby for short.
Except you have, and I know it. Being the eldest son, it would be shameful if she were to pass me in the halls not even knowing who I am, so don't ask me. What? But you were in the house all day. She attends to Mother, so why would I know where she is? Though she did help redecorate my room.
You made her help? That's work for the men servants. There was no reason to make the maids do it.
Oh, so you're saying I should invite a bunch of men into my room?
I go into your room all the time, Nellie. And you were in my bedchamber just this morning. Yeah. Mel is not smooth at all. Like, this man, he's got no moves. Absolutely none.
Only one man is allowed in my bedroom, dearest Mel, and that is you. So, unless you become a servant, which I will not stand for, I will not ask any of them for help.
Oh, Nellie, you ought to be a little more.
A little more what? If you're going to lecture me, I won't hear it.
What am I going to do with you, my little lady?
What? What? Why are you looking at me like that? We talked about you, dearest Mel, and I'm not going to tell you what she said.
About me? What did she say?
Hmm. Please, Nellie. She said. She said she has no romantic interest in you.
What? Why did that even come up? Literally, he gets a critical fail on every deception roll and every persuasion roll at the moment, and yeah.
Because we're both girls. We talk about things like what kind of boys we like and who's the most handsome. Why do you look so downtrodden, dearest Mel? You look like a sad little boy who can't get his crush to notice him. That face is unbecoming of a prince, Mel. Are you interested in her? That's strange. You haven't even met.
I am not.
It's just depressing
To find out that someone you've never even met doesn't like you. That's all. That was a good try, man. It was unsuccessful, but a good try.
if I'm going to make my move, I must do so soon.
Ooh, what you doing, girl? What you doing?
I don't have much time. The master of the house isn't around, so next in line would be him.
I know I was like in the back of my mind, I'm wondering if like maybe Nellie's going to like burn down the rose garden or something, and that's how this route is going to end. Because I'm with you. I think Nellie's gonna lose it.
That painting.
That like catches me off guard every single time. It is scary when it happens. Despite his near devastation by Nellie's news, Mel's flaxen eyes continued to wander in hopes of catching sight of the girl. By now, it should be quite obvious to you what Mel was feeling. But the boy himself was having difficulty comprehending the things going through his heart. Emotionally, he was horribly unstable, like a ship without a sail. And still, every time he spotted the white haired girl, his heart would leap, his whole body jitter with anxiety and excitement. He had never felt anything like this before, and as such, he struggled to keep these strange emotions in check. Whenever he saw an opportunity, Mel would speak to the white haired girl. And days he was unable to, he either spent in secluded silence or a distracted daze. Love is a curious thing. It has the power to change those who experience it. When he did manage to approach her, he tripped over his tongue. Again and again he talked to her, and again he stumbled. I imagine if you were to take him to see a romance at the theater in his present state, he would cry just as much as little Nellie. Maybe, there you go. Yeah, if Abby's really the illegitimate daughter of the family, what if she's trying to marry Mel to get the inheritance? That's a possibility. We cry at tragedies because we draw parallels with our own lives. At least, that's what I think. Great tales of romance attain true gravity with the audience only when they are personally familiar with love. In any event, the white haired girl was, as a result of this, visibly perturbed. She was delighted that he was being so kind to her, but confusion overpowered every other emotion. She appeared to be at a loss for what to do as he clumsily catapulted words and stares at her. But Mel did not back down, though he probably knew not what caused such fiery emotion to erupt from within his breast. One's first love, in particular, tends to burn like a wildfire. Are you familiar with the sensation, Master? Oh? uh, there she is. Is she cleaning? No, it looks like she's reading. It's now or never. Boo. Why would you do that to some... Oh my god. This man cannot flirt, and I feel so bad for this poor girl. Ah. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Lord Mel. You very clearly meant to scare me.
Because you just wouldn't notice me. What are you reading? You looked pretty engrossed. Yeah, so ever heard of books? Um,
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have asked for permission.
it's fine. No need to apologize. Feel free to read whatever you want. And you're welcome to bring books back to your room if you'd like to spend more time with them.
But I was just I was just amazed that the mansion had a library. It must have been a lot of work to collect all these books.
There are some pretty old books in here, too.
Your grandfather's?
Some that he collected, and some even older than that. Take a look at this. I think it's a diary, but it's not from this country. Or this century, for that matter. Maybe a feudal lord? Here, he's complaining about the quality of the harvest. Can this forsaken land only produce oversour grapes? Ah, if only the largest of the Barney, or maybe Barnier? If only the largest of the Barnier estates were mine instead. The land there is much more suitable to cultivation. There you have it.
You can read this, Lord Mel?
More or less. I've looked over it several times already, so that wasn't too difficult.
Why would such an old book be here?
I'm not sure. It and all of this was already here when I moved into the mansion.
Have you not lived here your whole life?
I was born at our estate, but to me and Nellie, this is more like our home. We moved when I was still young, and we've lived here ever since. Nellie and Mother have both grown quite fond of it. Father, though, often goes back to the house because he doesn't like all the roses.
By himself?
Yeah, well, sometimes Mother goes with him. But for the most part, he goes alone. Yeah, and then there's this book that's written in a language I can't read that every adult refuses to teach me. What does Kama Sutra mean? But don't get me wrong, it's not because they don't get along. In fact, they act more like teenagers in love than grown adults. It almost makes me sick having to watch it.
It's a wonderful thing to be so close, no matter how old they may be.
True, but still.
There are those in the world who cannot be with the ones they care for, as much as they may wish.
Um, I'm sorry about that. Uh, that's right, the book. What were you reading? Yeah, Father says he goes back to the house, then goes to his mistresses and conceives more abbeys. Father is just a whore.
I wasn't exactly reading. I can't. I do not enjoy reading lots of text, so I was looking at the pictures.
Is that so? You seem very cultured, so I thought you would be partial to reading. Perhaps you're actually more like Nellie and eschew your studies?
I. Yes.
I wouldn't have guessed. But you like looking at pictures.
I do.
What else do you like?
What?
What do you enjoy doing? It can be anything.
I enjoy being told stories.
Stories?
Yes, when I was young, my father would tell me tales.
What kind of stories did you like?
Um, there was one about an imprisoned girl.
Tell it to me. She said she liked to listen to stories, not tell them, but whatever.
Once there was a girl, and she was locked away in a mansion deep in the forest. A mansion with only one window. But the window sat high up on the wall, far beyond her reach, so it was always very dark inside, unlike this mansion. However, the girl did not like the outside world. There were lots of scary things out there, after all. Though she may have been all alone in the mansion, she grew comfortable with the darkness in time, so she had nothing to be afraid of. And then, am I doing a good job?
You're doing fine. Keep going. What happens next?
Okay. And then the girl grew up. By then, she had already forgotten why she was locked up, but she was content with the darkness. However, her eyes couldn't help but be drawn to the little bit of light that spilled through the one window. Though she was comfortable in the darkness, the sight of the light made her heart race. At first, the girl thought it was because she found it unpleasant, because she disliked the light and the outside. But slowly she came to realize that she was curious about the outside world.
You're right. Yeah, everything about her is really giving uh Beatrice vibes. Like that it is it is reminding me of Umineko. So I'm glad I'm not the only one sitting here going, wonder what is she like Golden Witch? Like what's going on here?
What could be happening out there? For all she knew, the town, the forest, the people, all of it could have changed while she was imprisoned in the mansion. But she had no way of finding out. So the girl decided to write letters and throw them out the window. What began as empty grasping became routine, continuing for several months until she was finally ready to give up. But then, a beautiful white dove flew in through the window. Tied to the dove's leg was a letter. Her heart racing, she read the words contained within. It seemed to have been written by a man. The letter contained numerous questions for the girl. It also said that if she attached her reply to the dove, it would bring the letter back to him. She was astonished, but she wrote him back anyway, taking care not to mention where she was. After having exchanged letters a number of times, the two felt very close to one another, as though they had known each other for many years, despite having never met. And eventually the man said he wanted to meet her. Indeed, the girl was unsure what to do. Should she tell him of how she lived? Should she reveal where she spent her days? She was afraid if she did, he would cease to send her letters. She was sure he believed her to be a young lady of noble blood, and not a girl locked away in a house deep in the forest. The girl could not bring herself to write a response. She released the dove through the window with nothing attached to its leg, and yet it returned with another letter written in the man's familiar hand. You must certainly have a grave reason for your silence, it said. I would like to know that reason, and I would like to help you. No matter what it may be, you have my word. She deliberated. Though his letters were kind, she did not know this man. He was from the outside. Would he still treat her the same way when he met her? And did she even want to step out into the world beyond? What do you think she did? Wrote a letter and agreed to meet him, right? Yes, she did. The girl made up her mind. She would write a letter. As always, when she tied it to the dove's leg, it flew off out the window. And for some time after that, she received no response from the man. This saddened her, but she thought that it was for the best. She belonged in her own confined world, her world of darkness. But then one day, light shone into the mansion. The sealed door had been opened, and in the doorway stood a handsome young man. I've come for you, he said. The man was a prince from a neighboring kingdom. When the girl stepped outside, before her sat a magnificent carriage, the likes of which she had never before seen, accompanied by many servants. The prince, kind as in the letters, swore his love to her, and the two lived happily ever after. Ah, what a nice story. I'm glad it had a happy ending. A prince. Um, was there something funny about the story? No, no, that's not why I was laughing. Do you ever imagine what it would be like if a prince showed up for you?
Yeah. Wow, what a sappy story.
Huh? It doesn't have to be a real prince, even just someone like one. Is that something you dream about? Oh, no, I think I'm perhaps a little too old for that. You think so? Nellie still fantasizes about her prince, and she's 14. I just assumed all girls were the same. Lady Nellie's prince. That's you, Lord Mal, no? Well, is it not? I mean, we used to play make-believe a lot when we were kids, but I very much doubt she still thinks of me that way in earnest. When she calls me her prince now, it's mostly in jest. I don't think it is, dude. If it weren't, that would be concerning. Oh? Uh, that story. Do you know if it's a regional tale? One that's been passed down through the ages? I'm not sure. It could very well be of my father's own creation. Um, you may think me conceited, but I think the story might be about me. The girl trapped in the mansion is you? You haven't been locked up anywhere before, have you? No, thankfully. I've never been locked up before. Thank goodness. But with an appearance like mine, I can sympathize with her being afraid of the outside world. I have at times imagined how wonderful life would be if it were only me and my father. But the girl left the house in the end. If your father really wrote that story, then I believe it contains his hope for you to end up the same way. Huh? I don't have what it takes to be a real prince and whisk you away, but I can at least pretend.
I mean, that wasn't too bad of a line. I will give him, like, he's had some bad lines before, but that one at least only made me kind of roll my eyes and not go, "What the fuck are you doing?" So maybe he's getting better. Maybe we judged him too quick.
So, if it was your father's wish for you to see the outside world, then surely there's nothing wrong with you getting out and experiencing all the scenery that the world has to offer. I want to see the outside too. Or to be more specific, other countries. So, so, if you'd like, we could maybe go see distant lands together. Ah, dearest Mel, I've been looking all over for you. Nellie, look at this, dearest Mel. Mother brought me these wonderful gloves to wear on walks. The roses embroidered on the wrists are just precious. Oh my, you're right. They're beautiful. Huh? You appear to be dizzy, Lord Mel. Are you feeling unwell?
Yeah, we just got cock blocked. It's fine.
No, I'm fine. Mel was feeling frustrated at his inability to convey his feelings to her. And as his frustration built up over time, he developed, I suppose you could call it, a severe case of love sickness. For several consecutive nights, he had been afflicted with a peculiar sensation, a presence in his bedchamber. Death.
Okay.
Death to the unholy one. Death to the heretic. Death to the witch.
Oh, the fuck is going on, man? Kill XXX. Yeah, puberty. There we go. He just had marginal improvement from his previous high point of abysmally awkward.
She's. Why? I never wanted her to die. Was she not eating?
Seal off the tower. Understood? No one finds out about this.
How can you be so calm? Don't you understand what you've done?
Pinning the blame on me? How nice it must be to be able to distort reality with panic. You're just as guilty as any of us.
I I never wanted her to die. The witch killed her. The blood of the witch killed my
Blank. Okay, we're getting into the more fucked up stuff. I'm into it.
Huh?
This is a weird kind of puberty, but you know what? I think most dudes have like wet dreams at this point in their lives, not kill the witch dreams. But you know what? Not a dude. Maybe this is the Roman Empire of 1603 or whatever.
A dream? What was that dream? It was horribly unsettling. I was holding someone, a girl I cared for dearly in my arms, and she was limp. It was almost as if she were dead. I've been having a lot of really unpleasant dreams lately. I can't stop shaking. Why would I have such a dream? I feel sick. Back to sleep. But I wonder, who was that girl?
Yeah, there we go. Wet dreams are usually wet because of nocturnal emissions, not wet from bloodshed.
Huh? I can sense someone standing beyond my door. Is someone there? It's like they're watching me. Is it just my imagination? I can't move. What? What do you want? Go away.
is growing fainter.
I... Is that truly what your story meant, Father? But such a magnificent garden. Something we could have never had. Are my intentions misguided? What a beautiful white rose. You could have sneaked into his room rather easily then. No one was watching.
Are the maid's hands covered in blood? I don't know if I can... Yeah. What the hell is going on here, man?
No one was watching. Huh? How long have you... Oh, you needn't pay me any mind. I shall not condemn you, no matter what you might do. Rather, I am on your side. I was not going to do anything. Oh, is that so? Then perhaps you were out for a late night stroll. I imagine you have less difficulties going outside at night. I beg your pardon. I will return to the mansion immediately. Oh, yes, that reminds me. It was also the middle of the night when the grocer's servant broke into their safe. News of that spread quite far. I'm sure you would have heard about it. Oh?
Yeah, she's definitely our type.
Although, was Gamache imprisoned? Dear me, I'm having trouble remembering. But worry not. If you wish for it, the mansion shall provide. You are in no danger whatsoever of getting caught. I... You said that a witch lives in the mansion, did you not? I did. Does that sound perhaps a bit archaic to you? No. I believe those rumors mockingly refer to me. Oh my. I have been accused of being a witch before, which is amusing. I don't have any magical powers. I simply have an unusual appearance. My, what a lovely shade of red. The rose. Is something the matter? This rose.
Yeah, blaming a witch for all your problems. This really is Umineko.
This rose was white until I took it in my hand. Is that so? I apologize, I must sound mad. I'm sure I was just mistaken. It couldn't possibly have changed. I wonder. Yes? Did the girl locked in the mansion become a princess? What? We should lock up and head to bed. Make sure all of the shutters are closed nice and tight, and then draw the bar on the front door.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on here. Concerned. I don't know. Don't know how to feel about anyone right now. Slowly but surely, time trekked onward, everyone working towards their own individual goals. Each early summer breeze that blew through the garden was like God's hallowed breath carrying the flowers' fragrance in through Rose Manor's windows. If only time could be stopped and this beautiful era made to live on through eternity. As usual, Mel's eyes chased after the white-haired girl, and Nellie pursed her lips in frustration at him. But she was still rather docile. Even taking into account how self-centered she behaved, how fickle her temper, Nellie's fits were still no worse than a playful kitten. I mean, she is 14, like... 14-year-old girls have a lot of emotions that they don't know how to handle. See? At that very moment, our lively little feline had her claws poised to swat at the flaxen-haired young man.
Mel, you promised me. Or have you forgotten?
I haven't forgotten. I'm just asking if we can go another day.
Another day? This isn't something that happens every day. I've been looking forward to tonight's performance for so long.
There's nothing I can do about that. We're having a gathering at the priest's home tonight. Several high-ranking officials have come up from the mainland just for this.
Who cares?
I care.
You know, Nellie, it doesn't have to be me who goes with you. No, I want to go with you, Mel. You've been so distant lately, dearest Mel. You refuse to do anything with me.
That's not true.
Tell me, if you can't go today, when can you? When will you be willing to go out with me? Will you be willing to play cards with me? To have tea together?
I can't make any promises. I have things to do, obligations. And Nellie, you're almost an adult yourself. Stop acting like such a child. She's 14, man. I get that, age of adulthood was different back then, but give her a break. I don't know why she's still in this dress. It's apparently the only dress that she has, despite knowing that she has other dresses.
I'm not an adult yet. I'm still a kid. If it means I don't get to play with you anymore, dearest Mel, then I don't want to be an adult. Nellie, you can't. Lady Nellie, the master wishes to speak with you. Huh? Father does? What could he want? Go on, Nellie. You can't make Father wait. He's very particular about people keeping their appointments. Yes, he is. Unlike you, dearest Mel.
What's got her in such a foul mood? Oh, thank goodness for small miracles. Nellie just won't seem to take me at my word lately.
You mustn't be so harsh on her. She is your one and only darling little sister.
You're right, but still, she's taken it a bit too far of late.
Oh? I'm not so sure. She does not seem to be behaving any differently to me.
Am I the one acting differently then?
Well, enough about that. Can I ask you a favor? Me? What can I do for you?
I was thinking. Physically, Mel was undeniably a young man, but the smirk that crossed his lips as he schemed gave his face the sweet look of a little boy. Or perhaps it was simply part of his charm, and it was not the age disparity, but his character that made his smile so heartwarming.
Yeah, she is your one and only little sister, as far as you know.
What did he ask of me? You'll find out soon enough.
It's cloudy. And thank goodness for that, too. Though it would be even better if it were even darker out. I believe the textile shop is around here.
Hi there.
Lord Mel, fancy meeting you here?
Yeah. What a surprise. So, what do you say we take this chance and go for a little walk? Since you're sensitive to sunlight, we can keep our eyes out for shadowy areas as we go. And if you feel unwell, just let me know.
Uh, I was sent out to run an errand.
Don't worry about that. Come on, follow me. I'm sorry. It, actually wasn't an accident that we crossed paths.
Huh?
I planned this out ahead of time. Asked to have you send out on a fake errand. It feels like I'm always on alert back at the mansion. Can't relax in my own house. It's actually kind of funny. Sorry, that was inappropriate of me. I just thought that since the sun's mostly blocked out, it would be all right if...
I'm feeling just fine.
Of course, I get her out of the house, and I can't even think of anything to say. Hey,
Yes?
have you settled into life at the mansion?
I have. Everyone has been such a big help.
That's good to hear.
Indeed.
So,
Yes?
Nellie told me she had you help redecorate her room sometime back.
Yes, that was shortly after I arrived. What of it?
Yeah, that day Nellie told me that you don't,
I don't.
never mind, sorry, it's not important.
Huh?
It is important, but I can't just ask how she feels about me. That would make it sound like I do, don't I?
Lord Mel?
Oh, sorry, had something on my mind. It looks like it might rain again today. The weather usually gets better as summer approaches, not worse like it has been.
It won't be a heavy storm, though.
No?
The wind is too gentle.
You can tell from that.
Vaguely, but yes.
Huh, that's impressive.
I often leave the house unprepared, only to find myself sloshing back in the rain. You laugh a lot more than you used to. Do I? Yeah, and I like that. You look better with a smile on your face. A smile suits Lady Nellie much more than I. What? Her smile and your smile are completely different.
Yeah, how about that weather?
Also, a smile suits you as well, Lord Mel. D- do you really think so? What am I supposed to do in the face of a smile like that? So, yes? Knowing her, if I ask if I'm imposing, she'll say no without hesitation. Trying to cover myself isn't going to get me anywhere. Hold on a second. I never did get you those flowers like I promised. There was a single white rose blooming in the garden. I was planning to give it to you, but it disappeared before I had the chance. So, I'd like you to have this. It's not a real rose, but it won't wilt either. I Mel was holding an ornamental white rose. It was an impressively detailed replica of the real thing, crafted by an extremely skilled artisan's hand. It was, I imagine, made by the same craftsman from whom Mel had ordered Nellie's birthday necklace. Oh man, this dude's down bad. The young man, who but a handful of days earlier said he had no sweetheart, had come in to commission a present for the girl. The master of the shop must have been quite surprised. Or perhaps it had given him a good laugh instead. It was for this moment that he so desperately sought for time together with the white-haired girl. I don't know what you like, so I had to base it on my sister's tastes. My my apologies. I cannot accept this. Is the design not to your liking? No, I just... If you're concerned about how much I paid for it, don't be. I just want you to have it, that's all. Please. Why are you so kind to me? Why? Because... I'm sorry, I can't accept it. A clear glint of flustered panic was visible in her red eyes. There is not a girl in the world whose heart would not flutter at the sight of the sparkling rose accessory. But her reaction was far from delight. As a matter of fact, there were traces of fear and apprehension in her countenance. I beg your pardon. Hold on. With a look of distress on her face, the white-haired girl made to run off, but Mel grabbed her by the arm in the nick of time. At least, tell me why. Is it because you dislike me? I never said... I'm... Something's wrong with me. From the day you arrived at the mansion, it's like I haven't been myself. I've been strangely aflutter ever since then. Whether I try to study or whether I try to read, none of it sticks. I'm just looking at pages of text, tracing rows of letters, only for them to disappear as soon as I look away. It's all because of you. I truly, truly am sorry. Please, don't be any more generous than you already have. When I'm with you, my willpower wavers. What do you mean by that? I'm so sorry. Uh, wait. Mel's grip loosened for a moment, allowing her to slip free and dart off like a gust of wind, not giving him a chance to stop her a second time. The dumbfounded flaxen-haired boy stood frozen in place, left all by himself. The breeze, which the white-haired girl had called gentle earlier, felt faintly chilly, almost as if mocking him. It looks like she's even less fond of me than I thought. God, I'm crying. I'm pathetic. Well, if it isn't Mel, what might you be? Are you crying? I'm so pitiful. Sorry you had to see this. Think nothing of it. I passed by a girl just a few moments ago. She appeared to be rather distressed as well. Did something happen between the two of you? I wasn't good enough, it seems. Not good enough? That was the new maid I was telling you about before. I was, like you said, Father, I was keen on her. Quite. Enough to bring me to tears like a miserable child. But she rejected me. Yeah, Jack just shows up to mock him for crying. Perfect. I don't even have what it takes to be a stand-in, Prince. Mel,
I apologize for complaining to you about this. I'm completely hopeless. Mel, please don't try to cheer me up. I don't need any sympathy. I just. No, Mel, listen to me. What? I've seen that girl before. What do you mean? But, you said she was a servant at your house, right? In which case. Yes, she is. Please tell me, Father, where did you see her? Why must you be so evasive? It was probably someone else. Someone else? You're saying you mistook someone who stands out as much as her? Father, she and a man who I assume is her father paid a visit to the church once. They came asking for food, their clothes in tatters. The two were emaciated. I don't think they were eating daily. What? Wait a minute, are you saying she's a beggar? But Father said she came from an esteemed house. Which is why I said I might be mistaken, Mel. She has a singular aspect, but it is possible there's another girl who looks similar. Deep down, though, the priest surely believed the opposite. And so he said sternly, like teacher to a pupil, but you must be absolutely certain, Mel. Understood? You cannot proceed any further without knowing her ancestry. May I visit the church, Father? By all means. In the back of Mel's mind, a vision of the night of the storm, the night the white-haired girl arrived at the mansion, was surely replaying. She'd been wearing little more than rags and covered in grime, hardly the appearance of a respectable young lady of class. Have I been putting her through unnecessary stress? If she actually turns out to be nameless, to be rankless, no matter where she comes from, my heart is decided. I will not fool myself about how I feel any longer. No, I cannot fool myself. But how does she feel? What will everyone else think? I have to find out why she was welcomed into our house. I'll ask Mother or Father. No, if for some reason they don't know she isn't aristocratic, I'm better off not saying anything. But if they don't, then does that mean she's been lying to us? And to them? I have to find out. This time I must get answers.
No, absolutely not. You come back and the first thing you say is that? I hate you, Father. I will not stand for this. Oh, why? Why would he just suddenly throw that on me? He didn't even ask for my opinion. No, I won't do it. I'm fine the way things are. I'm just fine. Dearest Mel, I need your help. I don't, I don't, I don't want to get married.
Oh, poor Nellie. Poor girl. This may seem sudden, but I must confess that I made a grave mistake. My transgression is that I was unable to completely predict where this path we were traveling led. Yeah, uh-oh. My hands were full dealing with my immediate day-to-day tasks, so I could do naught but pray that there was happiness waiting in the future. Happiness for everyone who lived within Rose Manor. I am but a mere maid. There are limits to what I am allowed to do. And furthermore, it was not my place to offer her my hand. Roads, such as the one we were following, have a way of diverging with little warning. And if you do not turn the wheel exactly right at those forks, you may end up somewhere horribly off course. I was well aware of that fact, which is why I thought that what I did was for the best. It's happening again. I made sure the door was closed, but I can sense someone standing there. Someone watching me. Footsteps. They're looking down at me. I want to open my eyes, but I can't do it. Curses. You're just going to leave without doing anything, aren't you? Then hurry up and get out of here. Free me from this torture. No, tonight they're on my bed now, looking down on me. My neck. I can't speak. I can't move. These cold fingers. That soft breath. Oh. Why? I can move my body, but that's not important right now.
You smell of roses, the scent of a world far removed from ours.
He made to gasp at the sight before him, only to realize he could not. The pressure of her cold fingertips wrapped around his throat robbed him almost entirely of the ability to breathe. Why? He silently mouthed the word. For that moment, at least, her melancholic ruby eyes were focused wholly on the flaxen-haired young man. In them glowed a faint flicker of willpower, and a continuously burning agitation that roused her to action.
I told you to stop being so kind to me.
Why?
It it will all be over soon. Please don't make any noise.
Why?
To put an end to this family, you are my only.
Why are you shaking? Mononoke Hime vibes.
What?
Upon hearing Mel's words, the strength drained from her slender fingers. He had not been questioning why she would do such a thing. There was, of course, a trace of bewilderment visible in his eyes. But he did not shout, nor did he tremble in fear. He instead expressed concern for the young woman who looked like a cornered rabbit.
I am not shaking.
You are. I can see it. As he slowly regained his breath, Mel's voice too grew clearer. Conversely, the red-eyed girl's grew progressively more faint and raspy. You are not doing this because you genuinely want to. There's some other reason.
This is what I desire.
Have you been in my room before? You have.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'll be damned. Tell me, why are you shaking? You're not putting any pressure on my neck.
Why haven't you run?
Because I cannot fathom why you would do this, so I'm not afraid. Do you hate me so deeply you want me dead? Do you despise me to the point you'd be willing to take my life with your own hands?
No. No, I don't.
See? Like I said, there's another reason. If it isn't because you detest me, then tell me. Why is it?
I'm sorry. I will leave your room now. I will do my best not to bother you any further, so please forget anything ever happened.
Do you think I'm just going to say okay and let you go? Why can't you tell me the reason?
I'm sorry.
All right, then I'll try and guess.
What?
It has something to do with your lineage. You're troubled by it somehow, am I right?
Huh?
I thought so.
How do you know about that?
The priest at the church told me he had seen you before. He also told me, a little about your origin. But that's all I know. The only difference between us is social rank. I don't know what would cause you to do this. Please, tell me who you really are. Tell me why you came to the mansion and why Father allowed you to be a maid. I haven't said anything to Mother or Father. If you're hiding the truth from them, they still don't know. But I want to. I won't get mad at you or have you punished. I'll even swear to God if you'd like. I want to be the prince who whisks you away. I want to be like the prince who rescued the girl from the dark mansion and showed her the world. I know I'm not that dependable, but I want to help you.
Why do you show me such compassion? Why do you treat me like this? I have my hand around your neck.
Why? I thought it would be obvious. Or have I not expressed myself well enough? I love you. This is about one of the weirdest confession scenes I've ever seen, and you know what? I'm into it. Every time you push me away, it crushes me. I didn't even know my heart could feel such distress. Yeah, I will be your prince. You whore. Nellie is just, I'd say turning in her grave, but she's still alive. So whatever the alive version of that is. If you dislike me and don't want to be with me, then, well, I'll just have to live with that, as much as it may hurt. But if you have some other reason, some weight on your shoulders that you can't share with anyone else, tell me.
I want to help you. There are other options. Things we can do about your. No, that's not it. Huh? I. I've tried to hate you so many times. So, yes, there's more to it than just social status. But I can't do it. I couldn't make myself do it.
What do you mean?
I had so many chances, but I couldn't do anything. She spoke in a stifled voice, as if every word had to fight to escape her lips. She appeared so fragile, so precarious looking down on him that it seemed as though, if a gust of wind were to whisk through the room, it would blow her away completely. Her pale fingers were trembling like she'd tried to squeeze them again and failed. However, her hand did not pull away from his still slender neck. Her hand is so cold. He did not challenge her, but simply kept his eyes affixed on hers, as if carefully watching to see what she would do next. I'll say it as many times as I must. I love you, and I wouldn't be able to accept losing you without knowing anything. So please tell me the reason. I'll see to it that you're taken care of. Those are the words of a man of means, Lord Mel, of someone blessed enough to have pity for others. You are a foolish young man. You know nothing. But the greatest fool of all is myself. If you agree to punish me, I will talk. Tell me. Her long white hair and his soft flaxen hair touched. For just the briefest of moments it appeared in the darkness as though they had fused together. The white-haired girl, having finally gathered the courage, began to slowly tell her tale. On the night of the storm, I paid a visit to Rose Manor, this mansion. My father and I were always on the move, traveling across the land by foot, so it was only recently that we heard rumors of Rose Manor. There are several reasons we couldn't stay in one place. First is my unusual appearance. People often find the color of my skin or eyes disconcerting. So after living in one place long enough, unsettling rumors would begin to spread, forcing us to leave. Another reason was my father's line of work. He painted pictures for a living, but he had trouble finding a patron, so he had to work day to day. When he was no longer able to find work in a city, we would move. We were birds that migrated without a flock. When we arrived at this town, my father was exhausted and weak. That is when we learned of Rose Manor, and the family who dwelled within it. Rhodes is a name my father could never forget. He was, long ago, a painter in service of the Rhodes family.
Hold on. Your father was an artist here?
Yes. It was before I was born, so you probably don't remember Lord Mel.
So, you knew about us before you came here?
For as long as I can remember, I've known the name Rhodes. My father was chased from your house, just because they didn't like something he painted.
Huh?
Having failed the Rhodes family, no one else would become his patron. Just as a good reputation spreads, so too does a bad one. Branded once as a failure, no one will take you in ever again. You nobles throw your parties and spread your gossip about this painter or that sculptor. The rose you tried to give me is an example of that. It was certainly crafted with skill, but the jeweler is only known because some aristocrats spoke highly of him. My father's paintings were no less skillful. His was a talent that could not be easily imitated. But no one was willing to separate the art from the artist. The Rhodes family stole everything from my father.
There we go, Romeo and Juliet.
But even thrown out onto the streets, his only skill was painting. That was all he could do to earn a living. What little money we had for food, he gave to me. He did anything he could to ensure my survival, even at the expense of his own well-being. My father passed away in this town. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his fingers through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. If I had a normal appearance, I'm sure life would have been much easier. He was always telling me how sorry he was for making life so hard, even though it's not his fault I look like this. I disdained the Rhodes family for putting my father through such hardship. I imagined you were still living in decadence, acting as though nothing had ever happened. No, you wouldn't even care about the fate of one simple painter. Our lives meant nothing to you, and so I sought to bring misfortune upon you. And that's
Why you tried to kill me.
in truth, I had wanted to take the master's life, but your father spent so much time outside the mansion. And so,
You're right. If they lost me, it would put my family in a very difficult position.
that is the whole of my tale. You now know about my father, and how I feel about you. Having having told you of the blackness in my heart, I cannot go on living like nothing has changed. Please give me punishment.
Why? Why would you have me put the one I love through any more misery?
I am not fit for your affection.
There you go. So how would you feel about marrying into the Rhodes family and having our fortune as the ultimate revenge? Like, come on, girl. Like, and here's the thing. Even if she doesn't marry in, even if they both just disappear, it still puts the Rhodes family at a disadvantage. Let's have a happy ending here. There's possibilities.
Not only because I'm not aristocratic, but because every time I spoke with you, I did so holding this darkness in my heart.
Does that not unnerve you? In the end, it was my family's actions that caused you so much suffering. Would that your father were still alive. Perhaps I could have done something. I'm sorry. And besides, you hesitated. You didn't actually kill me. What am I even to punish you for? As you said, you had countless opportunities, but you could not bring yourself to do it. Tell me, why couldn't you kill me? Yeah, we can eat the rich together, just you and me and my sister.
Because I...
If it's because I've given you enough reason to have even the slightest bit of interest in me.
Nothing was as I envisioned it.
What?
I assumed the residents of Rose Manor would be cold, people who believed that wealth and rank mattered above all. But on the night of the storm, the mistress was the first one to extend her hand to me. I arrived at the mansion disguised as a beggar. Actually, disguised isn't the right word, as many nights I only survived on the generosity of others. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite. She took me in as a servant.
So that was Mother's doing.
I could scarcely believe she would invite a stranger into her home, that she would treat a stranger with such compassion. I thought perhaps she knew who my father was, but I had never met any of you before, so she simply must be that kind-hearted a woman. And the mistress continued to treat me with kindness, despite my disquieting appearance and the darkness in my heart. In time, I began to grow less and less sure of myself. Was what I meant to do truly right? Were the things I felt truly justified? But it was a certain fact, that my father was here, and that he had been chased out. So I decided I should take your life, to put an end to everything before I wavered any further. And then, you were too kind to me. It's all your fault, because you laugh with such affection, because you give me smiles like that, because you say the things you say. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. I'm so happy to hear that, despite the unusual circumstances. Please don't say you want to leave. Don't ask me to punish you. I couldn't do anything for your father, but at least allow me to do something for the daughter he cared for so deeply.
You are far too kind-hearted.
I'll be happier with you around. You can become a real aristocrat.
Huh?
There are families that would be willing to adopt you, especially knowing it would bring them ties to the Rhodes family in the near future.
Are you saying,
As long as you're okay with that, of course.
I don't understand how you could possibly say that.
I have my hand around your neck even as we speak. I will say this is really weird to like say all to myself. It's like I'm doing a confession scene with myself. It's a little weird. Every time I have to do one of these, it's like, this is odd. It seems reasonable enough to me.
I'm desperately looking for some way to not have to lose you. But I couldn't. I don't know any etiquette or social customs. How could I? You can learn all of that. You're pretty and naturally graceful. You'll do just fine. Um, you are such an aristocrat, Lord Mel. What? The, the way you can come up with compliments so easily? Only for you. Nellie says my poetry has as much charm as a dissertation. I don't understand theater. It puts me to sleep. You laughed. Thank goodness. Ah, keep smiling. You don't have to stop. A smile on your face is a smile on mine. No matter how deep the darkness has taken root in your heart, it can always be removed. I believe people are capable of forging their own futures. What do you say we go to the theater sometime? I promise I won't sleep through it. At the private theater, we can get seats at the far end of the second floor, so we don't have to stand. They would be pretty lavish seats, and it would give you a chance to experience the noble life. But please don't be shy. I can have clothes prepared for you. I'll ask one of the maids who can keep a secret. Say, the one with the black hair. She kind of scares me, though. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How could you show such compassion for me? I tried to inflict harm upon you.
Yeah, it's easy to remove the darkness in your heart. We'll just create a Vanitas for you.
Am I allowed to feel such joy? For every day you suffered, a day of happiness. That's how it has to be. So stand by my side. He softly whispered the girl's name. For several long moments, her lips trembled in trepidation, but in time she squeezed them together and made a smile. He wrapped his arms around her unbelievably slender, frail frame, holding her tight in an affectionate embrace. Mel approached me the next day. He explained to me the course of events and then asked me to dress her up more beautifully than any other noble girl had ever been. She was already a very pretty girl, so even without much effort on my part, simply putting her in a dress, she radiated beauty. I was quite partial to her smile, so I agreed to help, thinking that if it would lead to their happiness, I could not ask for anything more. I never anticipated what would happen next, though. Perhaps my hopes were unreasonable after all.
all right, let's go one more of these chapters.
Now, Nellie, you...
Oh, she ended up having to be married to Arthur? Poor Nellie.
You love the theater, so don't look so cross. Nellie was out with a man other than her brother that evening, a rare sight indeed, and she was quite clearly in a foul mood. I will not stand for this. That I should have to marry a man as disagreeable as Arthur. It's unthinkable. The young man at her side was Nellie's fiancé, selected by her parents. On any other occasion, she would have snubbed an invitation from any man who was not Mel, but she had little say in this matter. She was, for lack of a better word, forced to go out with him. Oh, how furiously she had fought against it. She had shoved aside the Abigail trying to fasten her corset, locked herself in her room, and sobbed for quite some time. It required the combined efforts of several of us to get her ready and out the door for her date. Come now, you should at least pretend you're enjoying yourself. Or do you want people to think we don't get along? Do we get along? Well, I want to for what it's worth. What it's worth to you is my name, not me. Are you really going to be like that? I went out of my way to take you to your favorite play. The least you could do is be a little kinder to me. No, girl, roast him. What was it called again? Romeo and Juliet? It's been running for 6 or 7 years now. A family like yours or mine could pay to have a brand new script written. So why should we have to see an old play at a theater full of commoners? It may be private, but even so. I'd rather just have a show put on at my estate. Stop talking already. Why should I have to marry someone like you? I have absolutely no desire to marry you. Whatever it takes, I will put a stop to this. I'll talk to Father as many times as I must. Please don't make such a scene. It's shameful. There are people around. Remember, you represent your family. Besides, our families are hardly strangers to one another. Try as you might, I doubt you can get rid of me. No matter what you say, you can't break this engagement. You don't! Your parents gave you too much freedom, and look at what a spoiled little girl you became because of it. Goodness, you're going to be quite the handful. Oh, get off your high horse! No, you're the one on the high horse, Nellie. You were going to be my wife. You could at least put some effort into liking me. What happens when I take you to a social engagement and you act like this? It's shameful to the both of us. This coming from someone who used to call me Lady Nellie. What's your problem? When you choose to act like a lady, I'll gladly call you that again. Goodness gracious. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I have to marry a bratty little girl because it will help my family. How dare you talk about me that way? You're not a damned princess. Open your eyes. If you think talking to your father will get you out of this marriage, you're welcome to try. I'll doubt he'll have it, though. Oh, poor Nellie. Otherwise, you can go just complain about it to your friends. Oh, that's right. As far as I'm aware, you don't have any friends. Enough! As you wish. This is so frustrating. Why should I have to listen to this jerk mock me? I have Mel. I know. If Father won't listen to me, I'll ask Mel to talk to him. Mel will be able to convince him. Come on now, your favorite play's about to start. Maybe you should face forward. Enjoy it while it lasts. You won't be talking down to me much longer. Look, if she also gets stuck in this marriage, like, let me just say, burn down the entire fucking mansion, girl. Like, just raise it. All of your family deserves to burn for putting you in this. What? Is that? Wait, Nellie, get back here. What is that damn child's problem? I didn't give her permission to leave. Why do you need to give her permission for anything? Father will be sure to hear about this. I cannot have the Rhodes making any more of a fool of me. I... You're fine. Don't be shy. But so many people are looking at me. That's because you're gorgeous. No, it's because I look strange. I assure you that's not the case. It's true you have an unusual appearance. But right now, the unique color of your hair, your skin, and your eyes all serve to accentuate your beauty. You sound like a prince, Lord Mel. What? You think so? Yeah, my father will hear about this. I mean, I did say I'd be a stand-in prince for you, but I think you're a wonderful prince. Not just a stand-in. Which makes you my princess, then. I don't... Aw, you're supposed to say, yes, I am there. You're going to make me sad. I... I guess I'll just have to keep working at it until you submit. Don't like that wording either, but whatever. Oh, hey, the play's about to start. What am I supposed to be doing? Nothing in particular. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Oh, but there is one thing. Yes? If I start dozing off, could you maybe wake me up? No. What? Yeah, submit. Yeah, it's not good wording there. Dearest Mel! Nellie? Dearest Mel, what are you doing here? I asked her to join me. It's nothing to get worked up over. It is. It absolutely is. No, I'm kind of on Nellie's side on this one. Like, she was mad because he stood her up, only to find out he's standing her up by going to the same play she invited him to with someone else. Like, poor, yeah. How many times did I ask you to come with me and you wouldn't? You don't even like theater, dearest Mel, and you brought her? You're right, I'm not especially fond of plays, but I wanted her to be able to see one. Why are you making such a big deal out of this, Nellie? She's not suitable for you.
What? Oops. Fun little sound effect.
She isn't good enough for you. Why would you choose her? She's creepy and you have no idea where she came from.
Don't talk about her like that, Nellie.
But you don't even know who her family is.
I do.
What? Lord Mel?
It's fine. You just stay quiet. I don't like this either. Like, come on, Mel. Don't be an asshole now. Like the other maid, she comes from a respectable house. I looked into it. However, circumstances prevent me from telling you what house that is.
No. You're lying. That can't be. She doesn't act like a lady. She lacks etiquette and she probably can't even dance. You expect me to believe someone like her is from a good house?
Enough already, Nellie.
Mel yelled at me.
You have my word. You don't have to worry about her. So please stay out of this, Nellie. It isn't any of your business if I spend time with her, is it?
But dearest Mel.
You need to stop hanging all over me, Nellie, and find someone for... Wait. What are you doing at the theater? Are you here alone?
Oh yes, dearest Mel, about that. I have a favor to ask of you. I've been waiting to talk to you about this since yesterday, but I haven't seen you at all.
Settle down, Nellie. What is it?
Father had me engaged without consulting me, and he picked Arthur, that disagreeable little...
Oh, right, that. I already know. Oh my god, Mel! The fuck is wrong with you, man? I already know.
What?
I heard it from Father. That reminds me, you didn't show up at breakfast this morning. I see now. It was because of your engagement.
Dearest Mel.
Is that who you're here with today? In that case, you should get back to him rather than waste any more time with us.
You knew I didn't want to get married, Mel. So why? Why didn't you talk Father out of it?
Because it's your time, Nellie. If there's someone else you'd rather be with, then, well, you can try persuading Father, but...
You're the only prince for me, dearest Mel. And a prince always grants his princess's wishes. Doesn't he?
Yeah, literally, he doesn't... I'm not advocating for him picking his sister, but oh my god. We have just abandoned her at this point, and I hate this.
I want you to say you'll do that for me, dearest Mel. Lady Nellie, you stay out of this. It's all your fault. It's all because you showed up and played your little tricks on him. I warned you about this rat, dearest Mel. She is not suitable for...
I told you I'd had enough already. Oh! The hell, man? Yeah, look, I can't blame Nellie, like, go for the unhitted ending at this point, girl. Just sprint towards it. How much longer are you going to continue acting like a child? I can deal with you being a spoiled little girl, but how dare you be so derisive to someone else?
Mel. Hit me. Lord Mel.
Go on, the show's about to start. People are giving us dirty looks. Return to your betrothed now. I will apologize to him afterwards as well. Oh, fuck you.
You said you would always be at my side. That you would always be my prince.
The time for make-believe is past, Nellie.
No, I refuse to believe it. I will not have it.
Nellie! My goodness, that girl.
Are you not going to go after her, Lord Mel?
No, just let her go. The only place she even has to go is home. Yeah, I'll agree that, like, I hope that she keeps the collateral damage limited to Mel. I think the rest of her family deserves it as well. Just personally. But, yeah, our fun little Abby doesn't necessarily deserve it as far as we know. The only place she even has to go is home. I just wish she'd start acting a little more like an adult. She's 14, man.
I imagine Lady Nellie simply...
She what?
No, it just wasn't my intention to get between you two.
Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault we had an argument.
But you two are so close. Yeah, we're siblings. So we're close, but nothing more. I do care about Nellie, and I enjoy spending time with her. But she's my sister. Nothing more. Anyway, sorry for making such a scene. No, I imagine she left her betrothed behind without saying anything, so I'm going to go apologize to him.
Oh, fuck him.
We have to keep up appearances. Stay here, I'll be right back. Very well. Master, what are your thoughts on the tale so far? Which of the siblings do you think was in the right, Master? The brother or the sister? Oh my, I apologize for the abrupt question. Did I startle you?
What do I think?
Yes, I believe Mel was probably right. He was also surely happier than her. As Mel had anticipated, Nellie fled from the theater, leaving her fiance behind. She forced her way into a carriage stopped outside, probably one called for a different nobleman, and ordered it to take her home. Mel's assumption was correct. The only place she had to return to was the mansion. The sun was beginning to set, and as a young lady, she could not simply go wandering through town alone. Nor did she have any acquaintances to take her in. Her world was in essence composed of two elements, her brother and the rose garden. They were the light of her life at Rose Manor. She lived a very isolated existence.
Exactly. My answer is just no. Neither one of them was in the right. She's being a spoiled brat, but also she's 14. She's just not right. And he's being an asshole right now, so.
When she escaped back home, Nellie went straight to her room, locked the door, and began sobbing. The waves of her sorrow came crashing effortlessly over the levees. Tears streamed through the cracked walls of the dams, blocking her tear ducts. Why? Why? Why won't you help me, Mel? Why won't you take my side? The decor in her room appeared blurry through her damp eyes. Memories of the day she had it redecorated played back in her mind with crystal clarity. She told me she had no feelings for you. That liar! That liar! She let her emotions run wild, breaking glass craftworks, silver plates designed by famous foreign artisans, flower vases, all sorts of things. It was as though a beast had been set loose in her bedchamber. The vase she tossed shattered against a painting hanging on the wall, spraying water, porcelain, and roses in every direction. It was the portrait she adored so dearly, of her and her brother. And in what appeared to her like a metaphor for her life, the frame fell off its mounting and came crashing to the floor. Nellie darted over and scooped it up. The frame had broken, but the painting inside was unharmed. The two smiling children were still the very image of happiness, inseparable siblings gently holding one another's hand. My prince is no more. Though in her present state of mind, that image of happiness brought her nothing but misery. And the worse she felt, the more frustrated she grew at the smiling girl and kind boy of her past. The princess is no more either. You're not a princess anymore, Nellie. Some other woman has taken your place. I trusted you, Mel. I believed you would always be there for me. This painting is nothing but a lie. That's not the real Mel. That's not the real me. It's all a big, fat lie. A lie. I wish this painting never existed. That it was never made. That I never had a brother. This painting. This painting. In a fit of emotional distress, she scratched feverishly at the painting she once considered precious. She put more force into her fingers than she, or perhaps anyone, might have imagined she could. Flakes of paint began falling off the canvas, and in time she noticed something peculiar. What? Is this writing? Something's hidden beneath the paint? Just a little more. A date? Why would that be hidden? What could it be for? Completed. Completed? May 1587. 1587? She read aloud the faded, scratched-up handwriting. After staring blankly at the text for some time, the color in her face began to drain. What is this? How how could this have been painted 16 years ago? I I wasn't even born yet then, and Mel would have just been a baby. Is this not me? Is this not Mel? There's still more writing. Urged on by her rapidly pounding heart, Nellie furiously scratched away at the painting. Even as her clean pink fingernails were soiled with fragments of paint and blood, she did not stop. She was so overwhelmed by trepidation that she could not stop. She had a horrible premonition that something was about to happen. Something indescribable, incomprehensible. This is how I envision your son and our unborn daughter might look several years from now. Your son and our unborn daughter. So this was a painting of the future. Then it really is of me and Mel. No, use your head, stupid. I'm only 14. 16 years ago, I would have not have even been inside Mother. But then who is this? Who is that holding Mel's hand? Who is that with my brother? More, there has to be. Ow! Found it. There's more writing. I have to know what this is. Calm down, Nellie. It's nothing to get worked up over. I'm sure it's nothing. Calm down and read. There's nothing to worry about. If our unborn child. This is what the writing on the painting said. If our unborn child does not have your hair color, then you will probably not be able to take her in as your own. I will be punished and my life made miserable. And so I pray that this child might have flaxen hair. Though it is a sin to wish she has in her a trace of me, I do hope it is a girl. What am I reading? I don't get it. Someone tell me, what does this mean? A painting from 16 years ago. Hair color. Sin. I do hope it is a girl. Yes? It's Nellie. Let me in. Lady Nellie. Oh, you changed out of your dress. That's a shame. It looked nice on you. It really did look so nice. Almost like you were a princess. Um, Lady Nellie? Say, I've got a question for you. Do you mind? By all means. What color hair did your father have? I beg your pardon? Did you not hear me? Should I repeat the question? No. I assumed it would be about Lord Mel. I'm just so curious about where you got that white color from. I... My... My father was more tan than white, so I didn't inherit my paleness from anyone. I asked about your father's hair color. Why would you want to... There's no reason you can't tell me, is there? My father, had white hair. But that was simply because he was an older man. I do not think he was born with... Lady Nellie? Hey, guess what? I figured it out. I figured it all out. And it was so simple. There's only one difference between you and me. The thing that Mel fell for is... Why do you have those? No, stay back.
I don't think Nellie is taking her anger out on the right people. We'll just put it that way. All right, we'll see what the aftermath of this, and then we're going to end for tonight.
Ah, we've finally reached this point in the tale, Master. If your memory's been refreshed, then we can return to the mansion immediately. Very well, then. If you insist, Master, we shall proceed with the story. It was a stormy night, much like the one the white-haired girl had first arrived on.
Yeah, we're heading into nice boat territory.
It was quiet as a crypt in the mansion, not a single light visible in the halls. The house sat in wait for the sun to peek out over the horizon. The darkness is, generally speaking, something that rushes by like a gust of wind as we sleep. The flaxen-haired young man, too, lay in bed, pale blue moonlight sporadically streaming through the gaps in his drawn velvet curtains as he attempted to submit to slumber. He was having difficulty drifting off, but as time trickled onward, he drew closer and closer to the arms of Morpheus. Suddenly, he sensed a presence in the room, much like the one from those nights some weeks earlier. Is someone there? Answer me. A slender feminine finger pressed gently against his lips. There was no hostility in the motion, but rather a great deal of affection. You're... The silhouette faintly visible in the dark room was the same as that night. A flash of lightning shone through the drawn curtains, illuminating her beautiful white hair.
Oh no, oh no. Oh no, I have a bad feeling that this is Nellie and that she just cut off, I don't know, her scalp or I don't know. We're about to get into some really fucked up shit though. I will bet $50.
Several silky locks spilled over her shoulders and brushed against Mel's cheeks. A couple of soft puffs of air tickled his face, as though she were silently laughing. He assumed her finger, held against his lips, was her way of telling him to stay quiet. She began to slowly, delicately trace the outline of his mouth, moving down his cheek and along his jawline as if over porcelain. You're rather more forward than I remember. Well, I suppose you always were quite daring. This isn't the first time you've sneaked into my bedchamber,
the boy said in an attempt to conceal his surprise.
Do you remember the night she came to exact revenge on him for her father? Indeed, she had proven herself to be a rather bold girl once already. It's dark. I can't see you very well. Why don't I light a lamp? Or perhaps we could open the... Before he could finish, the white-haired girl sealed his lips with her own. Oh no. In the near-total darkness of his bedchamber, the two shadows appeared as one. They remained that way for several minutes. Their kiss was innocent, no more than the pressing together of two pairs of lips. And at the same time, the white-haired girl lovingly ran her fingertips across his skin. When their lips separated, Mel gasped for air. It seemed he had been holding his breath. Slightly embarrassed at himself, he said, "Dearest Mel."
Yeah, I thought we were going here. Oh no. Oh.
Huh? Nothing. He could not speak. The silhouette hanging above him was certainly the white-haired girl's. Or was it? Because his next words were, "Get off me." He reflexively shoved the girl straddling him aside. She rolled off the bed, landing on the cold floor, but slowly, gradually, she crawled her way back to him. That wasn't very nice. Veiled in darkness, she slowly lifted her head. And then there was another flash of lightning. The heavy fabric of the curtains rustled, bolts of light streaming between the gaps. Her flaxen irises glimmered, though in the bluish-white light they took on almost a twinge of golden glow. No need to be so rough. This isn't the first time she's visited your bedchamber, is it, Mel? Or did I not kiss you the same way? Tell me, how does she run her fingers across your skin? What does she do when she nuzzles up to you?
Stop. Stop this madness, Nellie. Why would you do this?
Because you like white hair, don't you, Mel? You like white hair, which is why you fell for her, isn't it? So if I have white hair, then you'll fall for me, too. Then I can be your princess again, dearest Mel.
What are you even talking about?
He could not escape from her, from his sister's piercing gaze.
Why? What happened? How could she?
Questions crashed into the young man's mind like waves in a stormy sea. But none of them found answers. They simply caused him further perplexity. Your hair. What happened to your hair? How did you get it that color? Oh, this? You like my wig? But as soon as the words left her mouth, Mel was in motion, propelled by pure instinct. He clenched Nellie's shoulders tight enough to dig his fingers into her flesh. You're hurting me, Mel.
What did you do to her? Tell me, what did you do?
I made her leave. It was a perfectly reasonable decision. She was obviously not nobility, and thus hardly fit to be a part of this household. But there's no need to worry, Mel. I'm here to take her place.
You sound like a madwoman. It doesn't matter if she was of noble blood or not. She promised she would stay by my side. So how could you do that to her?
I promised you that long before she ever did. And I love you far more than she did, Mel.
Have you lost your mind? You're not making any sense. Where is she now? What is she doing?
It's always her with you. What more could you want from me? Tell me, what does she have that I don't? What do I have to do to get you to focus on me, and only me?
We're siblings. Don't you understand what you're doing?
Oh, I understand it quite well. Far better than you do, dearest Mel. I even know that a former queen was executed for it. But if we don't get caught, there's no problem.
Nellie, are you saying you've always felt this way about me?
Oh my, you didn't notice, dearest Mel? You truly are a dense one. I guess romance just isn't your strong suit. But you've noticed now, haven't you? You know exactly how I feel about you, right?
Quit it. Enough. Don't say anything else. Stop having these insane feelings for me. It's disgusting. What are you laughing about?
Poor Mel. Content in your complete ignorance. All right, I'll tell you everything. Mel, you can only love blood-related women.
Huh? His cackling sister appeared to him as some kind of inhuman life form. Her actions and incomprehensible exclamations slowly drained him of his strength. What kind of deranged nonsense is that? I love her. She's
your sister, Mel.
Very funny. How far out of your mind have you gone, Nellie?
Poor Mel. Do you honestly know nothing? Say that her father was a painter? He painted pictures for a living.
What of it?
For a time, her father painted for our family. You've seen the picture before, dearest Mel. The one hanging in my room of the two of us? That was painted by her father. He did a good job, didn't he? I kept asking and asking until you finally agreed to hold my hand. And how did you feel about that? You were rather embarrassed, weren't you? Do you remember that day, dearest Mel? You couldn't possibly remember it. But there's a chance you might remember this. Before we moved to this mansion, we had a painter with white hair.
I don't remember any such thing.
He was, long ago. A painter in service of the Rhodes family.
I mean, technically, his only options between the two options he's trying to choose between are incest. So, man's got not a lot of really good options. We'll just put it that way.
But that painter did something very, very bad. And because of that, he couldn't remain a part of our household. Do you know what he did, Mel? He lay with Mother. My father was chased from your house. If the child had been born with flaxen hair, then the painter wouldn't have been thrown out. The baby would have been accepted as part of the family. But that wasn't how it turned out. The child had white hair. She didn't look at all like she carried the Rhodes family blood. But see, Mother had me. That I'm here is all the proof you need. The girl born 16 years ago didn't have flaxen hair. Up until his last breath, he was only ever concerned about me. He held me in his arms and ran his hands through my hair, an apologetic look on his face. You're talking total nonsense. What, what proof do you have? If you want to see it, I'll gladly show you. The artist left a message in the painting in my room. Tell me, am I truly wrong? What did that girl tell you? You're lying. What part of it is a lie, Mel? Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Why don't you go ask Mother? I'm sure she would throw quite the fit. Mother wouldn't. The mistress did not send me away when she saw me. Quite the opposite. She took me in as a servant. It never made sense to me. Why would she hire a maid she knew nothing about? Someone who just showed up at the door one day. And when I asked Mother to make her my maid, she stubbornly refused. From a good house? Don't make me laugh. If she were really nobility, she would have given us her name. But Mother was so desperate to cover up her mistake. That doesn't make any sense. I don't believe a word you're saying. It couldn't possibly be true. Wouldn't it be nice if you could bury your head in the sand? But Mel, feigning ignorance is a sin. No, I refuse to believe it. Not a chance in hell. You just don't understand anything. How I feel, how much I've suffered. Do you have any idea how long I've loved you? Knowing that you would never accept my affection? But but then, fancy that. You fell in love with your half sister. Then I should qualify for your love too. Shouldn't I, Mel? That's a better laugh than I was about to give, so we'll let her do it. Stop it. Enough. Shut your mouth. Not another word. I don't believe any of this. Mel? I know you'll never love me. I know there's nowhere for me to run. Say, when we were kids, was that really me? Was I really by your side, Mel? If that painting tells the whole truth, I was never once did I get to be your princess. Not even once. All right, and with those chilling words, we're actually going to end here for tonight because I think this is a nice cliffhanger. Next stream is Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. I think we'll have Lemur back, so we'll probably do a Baldur's Gate stream. But Thursday, we will be back on this. And just a heads up, Thursday will be our last stream. Might do a end of the year stream, but I will be actually traveling, so we're going to take the week of Christmas off. So yeah, keep I don't know what I was about to say. Keep excited for the holidays. I don't know. I don't have any announcements other than Mana has released their con schedule. So take a look. I've retweeted it on our Twitter account or X account. It's Twitter. Sorry. So go take a look. And if you're going to Holiday Mount City, go to their panel. Other than that, I've got nothing else. So hope you enjoyed this stream and have a good night. Bye, y'all.